Hi everyone, for today's video, I'm just going to be putting on makeup. When I woke up today, I just said to myself, I want to play with makeup. And I think the main reason why is because when I was booked this week, I was working with an athlete, so the makeup requirement was very, very light. So my hands are actually like itching to play with color on my face. Now, the other thing also is that for the past few weeks, ever since I actually bought and talked about the Chikuhodo MKUM Plum Powder Brush. The word that has been stuck in my head is the word plum. So it's plum, plum, plums. And when I woke up today, I said, I think that's going to be the theme of my video. So I'm going to be playing with plum colors, like mainly for the eyes and for the cheeks. Lips, I'm not too sure because I'm not in the mood for quite a very vibrant and strong colored lip, but we'll see how this video plays along. So I do have my skincare down already, so it's just my regular skincare. So I'm gonna start by applying a very light layer of foundation on my face. So this is from Estee Lauder. It's their double wear foundation. And the main reason why I'm using this today is because I don't want to use a ton of powder, and because the double wear foundation actually like sets to a matte finish, we don't need a lot of powder for that at all. So I'm just, adding a very thin layer and spreading the product out with my Chikuhodo PF4 brush. Now I really don't want a thick layer of foundation on, because the thing with the double wear foundation is that if you pack it on your face, you're gonna get a ton of product and a ton of coverage, and I'm not in the mood for like full coverage makeup. Okay, so I'm just applying a very thin layer on some spots and blending it out. We have a squirrel in the garden today. And he's quite vocal, so you'll be hearing him throughout the video, I'm sure. Okay, so I actually use a light foundation for the center part of my face, and I'm gonna lightly apply, this much more neutral beigey color on the outer perimeter of my face. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I think I got a little bit of some color in my skin because I was shooting on location the other day. So I just need to add a hint of color. And again, I'm just buffing it in so that we have some dimension. Alright, so I have this very thin layer down. Next, I'm going to be applying these concealers. So this is custard and ginger, and I've loaded some of the product at the back of my hand, and I'm going to be mixing these two together. Now, because one of this, I think this is the custard. Yeah, so the custard is a little bit too light for my liking at this time. So I'm adding a little bit of the ginger into the mix just so that it deepens out the color a bit. Because the problem with me is because my cheekbones are quite high. So if I use a very light concealer in my under eye area, when I smile, it kind of tends to create this white strip under my eyes, and I don't really like that. And just to avoid that, I'm just actually applying a very thin layer of concealer in my under eye area, and I'm just buffing it out and blending it well into the foundation. It's a windy day today. I'm loving it. Which is actually great because it's been becoming warm recently here in Metro Manila. So it's a nice reprieve. Okay, and let's do the other eye. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set everything with powder, but just so lightly, and I'm gonna use this pressed setting powder in my under eye area and well into my cheeks, just so that we don't have any product running around. And I'm just buffing everything in. Okay, now I'm gonna lightly set my face, and I'm just picking up this loose powder, and I'm just applying it gently all over using my Chikuhodo MKUM Plum Powder Brush. Since I'm gonna be using some powder products as we go along, it's nice to actually just apply a thin layer so that the powders will just glide effortlessly. Okay, now let's proceed to some blush. So I'm gonna be using this color. This is from the plum side of the Mercier Plum and Bronze palette, and I'm just using this very small fan brush, and I'm just gonna apply it generously and lightly on my cheekbones, just so that I have that initial color on my face. Because sometimes what happens when you apply foundation and then you kind of tend to even out your skin tone and lose the natural coloring. So applying blush after applying your foundation actually helps you to create a balance on your face. Because sometimes I've noticed that if I actually apply eyeshadow first after applying foundation, I kind of tend to overdo it, or I even sometimes tend to apply it very lightly because I am so scared that the eyeshadow is already overpowering the face. But by applying the blush first before the eyeshadow treatment, it actually helps you to apply the correct amount of pigment and intensity that you want to complete your look. Okay, so this is my first initial color of blush, and let's see after we apply the eyeshadow if we need to adjust or intensify the blush treatment. But right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be applying the eye base with my finger all over my eyelid. Now, this smudge proof eye base from NARS is one of my favorites because it applies a very thin layer of product on my eyelid. And the main reason why this is important to me is because sometimes there are like a lot of eye primers in the market that have texture in it, and when I apply cream, you know, eyeshadow products or powder products, it just creates more texture on the eyes, and you know, it sometimes tends to become uncomfortable when you have so much product on your eye. And the other thing that I like about this particular eye base is that it actually brightens my eye, and it has like a little bit of some white tint to it, so that really kind of helps in making your eyeshadow true to its color pigment. So for our eyeshadows, I am gonna be using a ton of Laura Mercier's Caviar sticks. These are my favorite eyeshadow products ever. I have been using them for years. They're very easy to handle, they're very easy to use, and they're very easy to apply on the eyes. Again, the first color that we're gonna apply is this nice pinky brown. And this will be like my transition shade of sorts. And I'm just gonna blend it out and buff it in. So as you can see, I'm just applying the product in my crease and blending it well into my socket line here. And the brush that I am using will just help to buff this out and blend it. But the thing is, when you're using like Caviar sticks from Laura Mercier, just make sure that you work with it very fast because they tend to dry fast, and it might be very difficult to blend once all of the volatile silicones have actually evaporated from the skin. Okay, so the next color that I am applying is the Caviar stick named Amethyst, and this is quite mauvey in color, and it has a nice pearlescent sheen, which I really like because it's not overpowering, and it's also one of my most favorite colors to use because they really work well with brown eyes like mine. Okay, so let's just blend this well into our transition shade that I applied earlier. Let's do the other side. Now, this is the thing with like the Caviar sticks from Laura Mercier, you know, it can really help you when you want to apply like product in a very specific part of the eye because it's like a pencil. All right, now as you can see, like even with these two colors alone, it's making my eyes look quite awake and alive without being overly dramatic. So I think these like two colors is great for a nice day look. Okay, the next color that I have here is the color Plum, and this is actually a very nice deep purple shade, and I'm gonna use this as my eyeliner and also as my definer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to lightly apply the product as close to my lash line as possible. As you can see here, it's making my eyes quite defined already, and I'm just going to lightly diffuse the color because I don't want anything stark and dramatic. You know, I do have to say that because I've been using these Caviar sticks from Laura Mercier for a really long time, I do have to say is that their formulas have improved over the years. Okay, I'm just gonna pick up some of this product with a flat liner brush here. Now this is my very old Laura Mercier flat liner brush, like from a decade ago. Like I have a lot of them in storage. So I'm sure they still make them at this time. And this is actually what I like to use when I want to add more detailing on the lash line. And maybe I want to add just like a teeny tiny flick here on the outer portions of my eye. And this will serve as a guide for me when I define my socket line in a tiny bit. Okay, so now I'm just getting some of the product using this nice fluffy brush from Sonia G. This is her Crease 2 brush. And I'm just gonna diffuse the product at the back of my hand, and I'm gonna apply this well into my crease. Now the reason why I'm diffusing the color first at the back of my hand is because this is a very strong color. And the thing is, sometimes when you don't diffuse a color before you apply it, you tend to have a very strong, high impact color in your eyes, and it might have not been the intensity that you were planning to apply on your eyes. So diffusing it first will really help you in building the color that you want. So again, with makeup, building colors and intensity is always the key. Okay, let's just add more intensity here. Okay, great. There you go. And let's just blend everything, because after all, blending is the key. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit fierce today, so I'm gonna intensify my lower lash line. So I'm gonna go back first and apply the Amethyst color, starting at the outer corner here and bringing it all the way into the middle portion of my eye, just so that, you know, it kind of opens up my eye a bit. And I'm just blending it again. Okay, and I'm going back to the flat eyeliner brush, and I'm just picking up some of the product here, and this is what I'm going to use to apply the color as close to the lash line as possible. Okay, so let's just blend that a teeny tiny bit and connect it. There you go. I am liking this. It's actually making my eye color pop out. Okay, and to finish the eye look, I have the Caviar stick in Orchid here, which is a nice lilac-y shade, which also has some pearl in it, and I'm gonna use this in the inner corner of the eye just to add some drama and sparkle. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish my other eye and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, so I'm just adding the final touches on my left eye, and let's continue. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply some mascara. So the mascara that I'm using today is from Laura Mercier. It's the first time that I'm using this, so consider this a mini review for this mascara. They actually gave this to me when I bought some stuff recently, and they said that this is their volumizing mascara, and it's actually not waterproof, which I actually like, because I don't really like using waterproof mascara, especially on myself, because they're very difficult to remove, and I only use waterproof mascara when necessary, like if the talent that I'm going to be working with has a lot of physical activity going on, or we're going to be under the sun. But if you're in a controlled environment and if your skin is not oily, this would be great to use. And oh my god, look how volumized my lashes look. It's like I'm wearing falsies. Okay, so I like this. So I think this mascara has fibers, and the fibers wrap around your lashes, and it's the one that actually creates the volume that you need. Oh wow. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply a teeny tiny bit on my lower lash line. Now when you're using volumizing mascaras, you have to read the ingredients and how they're made, because sometimes if they have fibers that wrap around your natural lashes, sometimes they tend to fall as you go along your day. So just be very careful. And if you want to make your volumizing mascara last longer, just layer on like a waterproof mascara on top of it. Oh wow, I am enjoying this mascara. Look at that. Wow. Okay, I am liking this mascara. Okay, look at those lashes. This is great. So that means no falsies for us today. Okay, so I'm starting to get a little bit shiny in some parts, so I'm just gonna tone down that shine a bit with my pressed setting powder from Laura Mercier. Okay, next what I want to do is I want to add some finishing powder. So this is from Guerlain. So this is the Doré Meteorites, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of some natural glowy warmth to my cheeks, and also because I just love the scent of this. Okay, so now I actually do want to add a teeny tiny bit of blush, and I'm gonna be using the middle pan here of the plum side of the Mercier palette, and I'm just gonna pick up a very minute amount of this product, and I'm just gonna buff it out here first. And then I'm just gonna gently layer it on here. Okie dokie. I'm liking this. The eyeshadow colors are actually like complementing the blush colors, and it's also making the warmth of my skin come out, so I like that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna buff in some powder, and I'm just gonna blend it well into the cheeks so that we have like a very nice seamless blending of color. All right, I think we're almost done, and I just want to add some of this finishing powder here, and I'm just using the Fan Pro brush, the one that I used for our blush, and I'm just picking up the product on the side where I actually have some blush color on, and I'm just going to gently apply that on my brow bone, but not too much. And since I'm actually laying down the brush where I have the blush side on, it's also going to act as a kind of like a diffusing agent into the eyeshadow and also into the finishing powder product that I'm using as a highlighter for my brow bone. And let's do that on the other side here. So I'm just pressing it gently and blending them together. All right. All right, so next I just want to enhance my eyebrow a teeny tiny bit. So I'm just gonna add a few strokes of this brow product in some parts. Well, I'm not gonna overdo it, because if I overdo it, that's going to overpower my eye makeup look today, and I don't want that. Okay, I'm just gonna fill in some spots here, maybe here and here. Okay, now I'm about to finish the look, and I think I'm gonna keep my lips quite light, so I'm just gonna add some lip balm on. So this is the Afterglow lip balm from NARS, and it's very difficult to speak while applying lip product, and I actually like this nice plummy shade going on. I think it works kind of well, because if I use a much more highly pigmented lipstick, it's just going to make my face look overly done, and I wouldn't want that. But I do want my lips to be glossy today, so I'm actually applying some of this lip gloss. I think this is the Sex Machine lip gloss from NARS, and because it has mauvey tones in it, it kind of plays well with the color story that we have. Okay, so this is a complete look. I'm actually liking it. I'm liking how dewy I look, and I'm also liking how the plum colors actually worked well together. And I'm glad that I did this look, because after all, I was so inspired by my Chikuhodo plum powder brush. Now, if you have any more questions about the products that I used today and how I used them, please leave them down at the comments box below, and let's have a conversation about this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are having a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye. And what were you doing in my office? I was shooting. Tanner, don't be jealous. Tanner, what are you doing in my office? Did you get anything? No, you did not. All right.